So one of my favorite things that we love doing once in a while is to go to one of those fancy hotels and have that afternoon tea with the old selection of teas and scones and all those nice goodies. So I'm going to show you how to do this at home. So we're going to start off first. We're going to make scones. So what I have here is a bunch of ingredients. I'm going to show you how to make that perfect scone. I remember when Jesse and I went to the Ritz-Carlton. I mean, that was amazing scone. So I'm going to try to recreate the experience here. So let's get started. I have about a cup and a half of flour. I've also put in about 1/4 cup of sugar. I have about 3 sticks of unsalted butter. I'm just going to cube it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just small cubes. Just gonna wet my hand. So before I do that, I'm gonna put in all of this mixture. So there's my flour and sugar. I'm putting in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of tartar powder. I'm going to pinch of salt and baking soda. And I'm going to, at the end, I'm going to put in about a cup of buttermilk. So first I'm going to stir this. You want to really fully incorporate the ingredients. That's okay. Now I'm going to add the butter. So you don't need a mixer. You can do this by hand. That's why I really love this recipe. So for those of you who don't have a mixer, you can just do it with a machine. So here you go. So with my hands, clean hands, just gonna mix it. What I want to do here is I just want to crumble the butter a bit. So I'm crumbling. Okay, so you see how the butter is kind of crumbled in what looks like little pebbles. I'm going to start putting in the buttermilk. So if you don't have buttermilk, you can actually put heavy cream. So I'm making a well here. I'm just going to pour it in. Just put everything in one shot. Just going to rinse my hand. Just going to mix it. It's a really fast recipe. All that baking powder, baking soda, it's really going to help the scones rise. So if you see that your batter looks a little too wet, you can always add just a tablespoon more flour. So as you can see here, it's starting to form a dough. See that? So continue mixing. You don't want to overwork your dough. You want to see the bits of butter. Reason you don't want to overwork it is because you want it to turn out kind of like a bit like a biscuit. You don't want it to be too cakey. Okay, so the ingredients look fully incorporated. So as you can see, it's just a little sticky, but still manageable. See that? So that's what you want. Okay, so now I'll just need Jesse, my cameraman, to actually push the camera over to this side of the counter. We're gonna actually form the scones. So what I take here is I have some flour. You're gonna dust your counter. I don't know if anyone can hear the bar lounge music. So when Jesse and I went to the Fairmont for our anniversary, there was actually a live pianist that was playing the piano while we're eating scones. I thought that was really romantic. Okay, so you just want to form a disc, just lightly flour. You want to make sure that it doesn't stick to the counter. Okay. I'm just going to pull this bowl away. Just wiping my hands. Okay. So just lightly flour your rolling pin. So you're gonna gently roll. Again, don't overwork the dough. If you see it's cracking, just push it back together and then go on the other side. So what you're trying to do here is you want to have about 1/2 inch thickness in your dough. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now I don't have a cookie cutter, so what you could do if you don't have a cookie cutter, just take a small glass. You could take a shot glass. I'm taking an espresso glass. So I'm going to form little circles. So I'm going to take it at the edge. That's why I kind of made it round. So it kind of helps me. So you just want to push down, but don't twist. You don't want to break it. So hopefully this works. I know what I need. I just need a little knife. So this is not the best way to do it, but just use what you have. You can see that? It's cute, right? So I'm just I buttered a baking pan. I'm just gonna put this right here.
Quest says that he loves that you're showing your talent on here.
Hi Quest, thank you. I hope that we can actually see each other soon.
And Monica wants to know what you're making. She's lurking while she does laundry.
So what I'm making today is I'm doing afternoon tea with Jesse. I'm showing you right now how to make scones. Similar to if you ever had a scone at the Ritz-Carlton. So I'm just forming some scone shapes. And then we're gonna bake it for about 12 minutes. 12 to 15 minutes. I don't have a cookie cutter, so I'm just using an espresso cup. So you want to space it out.
Monica says she loves scones.
Monica, I wish you were here. So if you find that the scone gets kind of stuck, don't worry about it. Just cut around. So as you can see, I'm just sliding my knife underneath if it gets stuck. And if everyone likes my loungy music. So really guys, the best way to do this is if you had actually a cookie cutter. I don't have one. I have a bit of leftover dough. I'm just gonna shape it into a disc. This is good enough.
So this taking lessons in the garden.
So, hi DOC. So yeah, DOC, I'm just showing everyone how to make scones for afternoon tea. I don't have a cookie cutter, so I'm just kind of making the disc by hand. I have some leftover dough. I'm just gonna roll it up. I don't like wasting. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put this away. It's ready for the oven. I'm just going to, what I took is I took 1 egg, I just beat it, and I'm just gonna brush it on top of the scones. So if you're wondering why, it's because it actually is gonna give the scones a really nice golden color. Almost done. So I preheated my oven at 425 degrees. I'm gonna bake this for about 10 to 15 minutes. As soon as it looks kind of golden, you know it's ready. Okay. It's ready for the oven. Be careful that the scones don't burn. I'm just going to check it at 10 minutes. So while that's being cooked, I'm just going to do just a quick cleaning. Jesse's actually going to show you our tea setup. Go ahead, Jesse, you can talk. Explain to the folks. Okay, so what you see here is I did a little 3-tier. At the bottom, I'm gonna put in the sandwiches. In between, I'm gonna put some of the sweets, and then you have some of the other sweets on top. It's Easter, so that's why you see a bunny. There are 2 teapots. One teapot is, I'm gonna put in a chocolate Earl Grey, and Jesse's gonna have the strawberry cream tea. Okay, so in about a few seconds, I'm gonna show you how to make those really cute British sandwiches, tea sandwiches. Okay, I'm ready for the next setup. Okay, the magic of TV, I just quickly cleaned up and now we're on to the next thing. So I'm gonna make 6 different types of sandwiches. I'm gonna show you how to cut it so it looks really straight, really nice. Same thing like you would get in any type of fancy hotel. So let's start with the first sandwich. I have a lot of ingredients here, so I'm just gonna go through it step by step. So what I have here is sliced bread. So when you do these tea sandwiches, you want to use sliced bread just because it's easier to spread all the ingredients and to cut through. So I'm going to start with brown bread. So just want to lay it flat like this. So here's the thing with tea sandwiches, right? You don't want the sandwiches to be so soggy because of the mayo. So you're gonna put in just a little bit of butter. Spread a bit of butter. So no matter what kind of sandwich you have, the trick is to put just a bit of butter in between. And the butter, what it does is prevents the, for example, the mayo to sort of make the bread too soggy. So you want to do it on both sides. So when you spread the butter, you just have to put it sort of in the center. It doesn't need to go all the way at the edge because you're going to actually cut the edge. Okay, so I made this egg salad myself. This is with chives, mayo, salt and pepper, and some celery. So you don't want to put too much. Looks good enough. I'm actually going to put in, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it like this. Okay, so with the palm of your hand, just press, not too hard. Now you're going to get a serrated knife, okay? So you want the serrated knife because what you want to do is just cut off the corners without pressing into the bread. If you press the bread, then it's going to have that pinch and it won't look as straight and nice. Okay, so when you start, just put your palm down. You're going to saw kind of back and forth. Just turn it. So now, as you can see, there is the long length and then a shorter width. Usually you can cut into finger pieces. You can cut 3 pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in 2. Try to make it as equal as possible. Put your palm down and saw back and forth. Don't press. See that? Look how pretty that is. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my plate. Okay, on to the next. So the next one I'm going to make is, again, don't forget, add just a little bit of butter into the center. So the only bread that really works for this is grocery store bread. If you try to use any of those fancy French breads, it's not going to work. And that's because the French breads have a lot of air bubbles and it's just not going to look as smooth. Okay, we're going to do the chicken spread. So you can buy this chicken spread at your local grocery store, or you can actually make it. It has salt, pepper, chives, all blended in together, and with some onion and garlic. I'm going to put a generous amount. So now I'm going to put in some, because you know I want to be fancy, some microgreens. I think it's going to look real pretty when I cut it. I mean, you don't have to.
Monica says she feels like she's at the Fairmont.
Thank you, Monica.
And Quest is in love with your food.
Okay, so now with your palm, just press, not too hard. Okay, now we're gonna cut it. So same technique. Put your palm down and then saw back and forth. Twist the sandwich. Again, same thing. Saw back and forth. Remember, you don't want to press. If you press, it's gonna have that pinch. Okay. So again, it has, the length is a lot longer and the width is a lot shorter. I'm just gonna wipe the knife. Oh, I think the scones are ready. I'm just gonna check it.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna do it. I think it needs another 2 minutes. I'm gonna make sure I put 2 minutes and not 2 hours by mistake.
DJ Bo and Star Q are both online now.
Okay. Hi, DJ Bo and Q. So what I'm making today is finger sandwiches for afternoon tea for Jessie. So just showing everyone how to cut this. You want to cut it really straight. See how pretty it is? Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next sandwich. It's kind of messy. Okay, so the next sandwich, again, take some butter. I don't know if you want to show Q and Bo your tea setup, Jessie.
My tea setup? No, I want to see you cooking. See that.
Okay, we're going to put some butter.
Bo says it looks delicious.
Thank you. Okay, so what I have here is I have whipped cream cheese with dill and capers, and I put just a little splash of lemon juice.
And where can they get that recipe, CD?
Actually, you could get it in my book. Jesse is always selling that book.
Well, let them know about the book and how they can get the cream cheese recipe.
I'm trying to do two things at the same time. I'm not really good at this. I don't know how you guys, the DJs, could do this. Okay, so I got some logs. So I'm doing this a little different. Oops, the scones are ready. I'm just going to take them out right away. If you leave the scones in the oven, it's actually going to continue to cook. Show the camera. Here you go, scones are ready. Okay, let that cool. Just going to wet my knife. Okay, so I'm only doing one slice of bread. I'm going to, again, cut the edges. Oh, I think I need a straight knife for this one. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this in 4 small squares. Okay, so I want to be a little fancy. I actually cut these little lime wedges. I'm going to take a little bit of cream cheese. I'm just going to lay it on top like this. I mean, you don't have to do that. You can continue to do sandwiches, but I decided to be a little fancy today.
Today? Just today? It's new for you?
Yes, Jesse, just today. Okay. So make sure it's cut properly. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of dill on top. Jesse's laughing, but he's gonna enjoy it. Okay, look at this. Isn't this cute? It's like a little bite size. So the fun part is when I'm done with all the sandwiches, we're gonna actually place it on the tier, on the 3-tier. Okay, on to the next one. So this one is actually Jesse's favorite. It's cucumber sandwiches. So I think I'm going to, don't forget to add a bit of butter. Okay, I'm going to put in some cream cheese. So this is whipped cream cheese with chives and black pepper. So again, be a little bit generous. You're gonna make sure that all the ingredients is sort of at the center as best as you can. Like this, like so. Okay, so I sliced my cucumber. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to show you how to make this really cool pattern. So I'm going to stack the slices.
Monica says it's so pretty.
Thank you, Monica. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half. Okay, so you take a slice and you're going to go diagonal.
Blasto says he wants one.
Faster, come over. Okay. Kind of reminds me of sushi a bit. So you see that I kind of laid all the cucumbers diagonal. I'm just gonna press it, make sure your hands are clean. Okay, now we're gonna cut it. I think I'm gonna use a straight edge. Make sure it's clean. I'm just cutting the edges. I don't know if you could see it, guys. It's really pretty. Okay. Just gonna cut this edge. Okay. So now I think I'm just gonna cut this in half. I'm gonna cut in half the width, the thicker end. Press. Okay, I'm gonna decorate it because I'm fancy like that. We're actually going to decorate it with a bit of parsley. Just take a little bit of that cream cheese. Corner. So I don't know if you see it. It looks like this. Is that cute? Just gonna wet my hands. Okay, on to the next one. So the next one is duck pate. I know, sounds really fancy. Okay, so I'm going to put in a bit of butter. Not too much, just a bit. So normally when you do afternoon tea, I think if you ever go to London or anything, usually they have 5 different types of sandwiches. I think today I'm making like 6. I went a little crazy. Okay.
Cindy, you went extra? No.
Okay, so I need another knife. I'll take a fork. So this is duck pate. You can actually buy this duck pate. It has orange, it has bits of pistachio, salt, pepper, a bit of onion, garlic. It's delicious. You can buy it at a gourmet store, or you can make it yourself. So I think it needs a little bit of butter. Okay. Just want to make sure it's even. Top, press with your palm. Take your serrated knife. It's gonna clean it. Okay, you cut the edge. Saw back and forth. Take your time, don't rush. Turn it. gonna just cut it in the middle. Just go back and forth. If some of it just kind of comes out, don't worry about it. You can just stick it in. Okay. See, look? Is that cute? Okay. I know Jesse wants me to do another type of cucumber sandwich. I know that's his favorite.
Make it for the vegetarians.
So there's another type of cucumber sandwich that I really like. It actually has mint in it. Let me just rinse. So, Jesse, I'm gonna need another brown bread.
Are we going to feed the birds the crusts? Like
Yes.
the fanciest crusts ever?
The most expensive crust ever, yes. Okay. Again, start with your butter. Always start with butter. And if you guys like my music, puts you in the mood. Okay, now we're going to add, this is the last sandwich, I'm gonna use the same knife. You're gonna put in that dill, cream cheese, lemon, and caper mixture. Again, try to put everything more or less in the center. So I'm just gonna switch it up, the mixture. Then I'm gonna put some cucumber.
So this is the more traditional one?
Kind of, yes. I mean, I'm going fancy with the cream cheese. Usually they just do butter and cucumber.
Monica says you should use the crust to make croutons.
Actually, that's a good idea.
But what about the birds?
Didn't you buy bird seeds, Jesse? Okay, so I don't think this is gonna be stick to the bread enough. I'm gonna put the other cream cheese because we don't want to waste. So the reason why you put cream cheese and butter so that it kind of all binds together. And I'm going to put in some mint. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it tastes really refreshing. Just put the leaves, don't put the branches.
It's like a cocktail in a sandwich.
It smells good. Okay, press with your palm. Again, cut. Turn. Okay, I'm nearly done. And we're gonna go and start the display. You're gonna cut in half. Take your time, carefully. There you go. See, look at that. So here are the sandwiches that we made. So remember that this is the cucumber we just did with mint, the egg salad. This is the chicken, the duck pate, the cucumber, but you know, kind of style fancy, and this is the smoked salmon. Okay, so we're gonna turn the camera and we're gonna start displaying. By the way, guys, Jesse's all dressed up for this.
Well, I'm not in underwear.
Can you zoom in?
Mhm.
here is my tier. I'm just gonna put the sandwiches together. So this is what Jesse and I do every Sunday afternoon.
They'll believe you.
Okay, and you have the...
Yeah, Bloss and Monica say I'm spoiled.
Okay, so as I'm trying to display this, I'm just going to show you, explain to you what I have here. So I have raspberry croissant, I have rum cannelli, strawberries. This is a pear walnut pudding. This is a lemon meringue. We have a maple walnut cake and chocolate mousse.
Where are you going to put the scones?
I'm going to put it on top. Here, take this. Doesn't that look so pretty? Okay, so I have OCD. I just want to make it look. So now I'm going to get the scones. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this. Put the scones here. So these are just plain scones. I just put a little bit of sugar. It took about 5 minutes to mix. And 12 minutes to bake. So usually when you make a tier, you put the sweets on top and the sandwiches at the bottom. So I'm gonna mix it up a bit because I'm running out of space. So I don't know if you guys could see it. This is a raspberry jelly jam. This is clotted cream. I put in some Easter chocolate eggs because it's Easter. And I have my fancy glass muffin. We're actually gonna have 2 types of teas. So I'm gonna have the chocolate Earl Grey. That's my display. This one is for Jesse. He is going to have the strawberry cream. Just gonna move the chair. You can have champagne as well, but I thought champagne would be too much.
Oh, that's too extra? Monica says her boyfriend gets herbal tea and a box of chocolates.
So, Jesse, can you bring me the teapots? So we're getting ready to eat. I'm just putting in some tea in the teapot. So I'm going to start with the chocolate Earl Grey. And then I make the strawberry cream. Jesse has a silver pot. Tea is ready. And Jesse's tea is ready. And then he has some warm milk. He likes milk. I don't know how you guys like your tea, but I just like it plain. Okay, that's it. So we're ready to eat. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope to see you guys after this whole COVID thing is over so we can all sit at my table.